This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Welcome back, everybody. Is this you? You want to be healthy. You want to eat the things that you should be eating. You don't want to take things out of your diet and feel uncomfortable that you're not living life. By the way, I'll never say that word ever again. Diet is a four-letter word and has the word die in it. I have just abolished that, thrown that out of there. It's really more about the plan and somebody to walk the journey with you, like a nutrition coach, somebody that's going to be on top of your wellness, what you are consuming. And here's the thing. It's not that we're going to starve you. She's actually a pastry chef and has been one for many years, but she's also an integrative nutrition coach. That's My Kind of Healthy, which, by the way, is also the name of her practice. And Katie Patterson joins us today on the program. How you doing?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
You're like a breath of nutritional fresh air. Like,
Thank you. Can I tell you, I've never heard that don't use diet because it has the word die in it. I am stealing that from you. I love it.
go right ahead. I'm just getting top of my head. I'm like, it's just
It's
not a good,
perfect.
it's not a fun word.
No,
It's always a negative attack. I got to go on a diet,
absolutely.
instead of,
Absolutely.
I'm going to try a new meal plan. I don't
Yeah,
know, however you want to describe it. Um,
exactly.
Now, when we say integrative health coach, how do you define that?
Integrative nutrition takes a look at every aspect of your life. It is not just what you put in your mouth. I kind of I look at life and what you consume on a daily basis as what you put on your plate. But it's not just your food, it's the amount of stress you take in. It's how much joy comes into your life. It's your family life. It's every aspect of your life, your finances, your living environment, every little thing like that
Mm.
that will affect your day to day attitude and thoughts on how you live. That is what encompasses integrative nutrition. It is looking at your life as a whole. So if somebody comes to me and wants to try to get healthier, we try to figure out what all is going on in their life. And then you can figure out a plan. And sometimes it has nothing to do with what you're eating.
So when you say nothing to do with what you're eating, we're looking at the person as a whole, the complete
Yeah,
person, every
absolutely.
aspect of their life.
Hmm.
It's not just about the nutrition. There's a lot of other things,
No,
factors and things that are going on there.
exactly. It could be a matter of trying to, like, if somebody is so stressed out at work, it could be a matter of literally trying to figure out ways to de-stress, ways to, if you have a crazy work environment and you're not someone who takes breaks, who takes lunches for yourself, or it may be a matter of you need to step away every day at lunchtime and go for a walk, get out in the sunshine, get some vitamin D, walk away from it, try to figure out ways to take some of that stress away in order to settle down your nervous system. Because if your nervous system is a mess, you're going to go and reach for the chocolate bar at lunchtime or the potato chips or something like that. So there's always a factor that usually causes somebody to eat the wrong foods, or, and I
Hmm.
hate saying that word because there is really, yes, there are foods that are healthier and foods that aren't. Obviously, we all know. But it's more a matter of making choices that aren't necessarily good for you. And sometimes it there are things that lead you to make those bad choices. And if you could figure out the stress, if you could figure out why you're not sleeping, if you could figure out any little, there's so many little things that could send you down a rabbit hole of not being healthy.
Do you think a lot of this is also understanding why we do what we do, like you just said,
Absolutely.
grabbing for something when you really don't need it? I
Yeah.
know for me, I think this might illustrate what we're talking about. So
Okay.
I am on a recent, not great habit of eating before bed. I
Okay.
will, like 10, 11 o'clock at night, I'll just, yeah, let me just go grab something. And it could be, I'll take a wrap, low carb
Yep.
wrap with peanut butter
Yep.
and jelly. It's like, PB&J, just not even the full
Yeah.
wrap, but just like, let me get something. And I thought about that and I'm like, why am I doing that? There's got to be a reason why I'm now in this
Yeah.
habit. Then I thought back to it and I'm convinced that I did morning radio for decades and I would
Okay.
come home like around 12 noon because I was up very early
Mhm.
and I would take a nap. And just 1 hour nap, just recharge from getting up early and then starting the other half of my day,
Yeah.
no matter what it is. I would eat before I go to take my nap.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that I'm associating somehow I got back on this habit of, and back then
Absolutely.
I had to eat lunch anyway. Not the best thing to, go to sleep with a full stomach, but it worked for
Hmm.
me then. But now I believe it's the signal like, yeah, I'm kind of tired. I got to go to sleep. Let me just grab something to eat because it'll make me
Yeah.
sleep better because I'm used to it. And I think I went back to that. And I just
Okay.
I have to wean off of it and stop. No, do not do it. Do not eat. You don't
It's
need
not
it.
necessarily the end of the world though. If that is what helps you
No.
sleep, but it does make sense. Yes, it's habit. It's definitely habit. It's a comfort for you.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and there's definitely things it really is retraining your mind to if you're not starving, if you don't need it, then really what you need to do is figure out something to replace that meal.
Hmm.
Whether it's if you get okay, drink a glass of water first. If you're really not that hungry, drink a glass of water. If you're satisfied with that, yes, it's not the sweet peanut butter and jelly, but maybe that will make you realize you're actually not hungry. But it also could be maybe you need more protein too. If you're reaching for peanut butter and jelly or some if that's what you're always going
Hmm.
for,
Hmm.
you might need more protein because the peanut butter is what's helping to keep you full so you sleep better. So there's in something like that, I would want to dive further and see, like, have you keep a food journal and tell me what you eat all day long to
Yep.
try to figure out if you're not getting enough protein. Maybe your body's craving that and you need that to be able to sleep because you are running on empty after getting up so early.
That's
So,
that's a great point. And I'm big on protein and identified years ago where I started feeling just not good. And
yeah.
and back then, I'm talking a long time ago, I didn't realize what was going on. I didn't, I would go to work first thing in the morning and grab a muffin, just all
And live on
carbs.
coffee and things like
Yeah,
that.
well, the coffee's got to have that.
Exactly.
But that was just carbs. And then one day
Yeah.
I passed out, and I didn't know why I passed out, but
Yeah.
I was carb loaded and
Mhm.
didn't have protein. And then like a day or two after that, I went fishing with my friend, went to the convenience store, got this big meat sandwich, and I'm like, I feel so much better. What is going?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and that was again, I was probably 30 at that time ish.
Okay.
And that's where I realized, oh, the protein thing, this is really important.
Yeah.
Um, I got to share with you what makes you radically different, and you really are true to who you are. So I'm on your website, and I click a picture of you. You look fantastic. And I scroll down just a tiny bit, and in the foreground of the picture, it looks like a martini.
It is a martini.
Good for
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
It is. I purposely chose that picture um, because it is me. I was on vacation. I was in the Florida Keys. No, I'm sorry. I was in Siesta Key. I was at a restaurant on the water. We were having a great time. I had a martini. Look, life. It's normal. Everything can be a part of your life in moderation. So I am not going to tell someone no alcohol, no sugar, no carbs, nothing fun. You're going to live a boring life and carbs are bad and this is bad and that's bad. That's not real life.
Mm-mm.
And that's part of why I did, like I said, my kind of healthy and what is good for me and okay for me may not be your kind of healthy, may not be okay for you, may not be okay for the person next to you. What is healthy to me could be poison to somebody else. But if I could try to have that smile on my face that I have in that picture on my website and be that happy
Mm.
all the time, that is the goal.
And
And no,
and
I'm not going to be on vacation in Siesta Key all the time. And it was a fantastic trip. But that's look, life is so short. We all have to figure out ways to be happy and try to be as healthy as we can without giving up anything.
sure.
No, without giving up everything. Let's put it that way.
Right. You're going to give up some things because
Of course.
my PB&J on a wrap at 10 p.m. I got to give it up. It makes no sense, but I know why I'm doing it. And martini. I
Yeah.
think I had at least two espresso martinis over the entire weekend.
There you go. I
Got to
get
live a
it.
little. Give
Me
us your
too.
journey, Katie. How did you get here? I mentioned pastry chef. That's just a
Okay,
piece of
yes.
all of this. Yeah, tell us.
I okay. How far back you want to go?
Go back.
Come on, I originally started out, I wanted to be an actress. I wanted to be on Broadway. I was a singer. I toured for a year after high school with a performing group, all around the world singing and dancing and all of that. So I've pretty much done a lot. When I wanted to be on Broadway, you go through the audition process. You are told constantly, you're not tall enough, you're too tall, you're not blonde enough, you have to lose some weight, you might have to gain some weight. Like you're never perfect. You're constantly being judged.
Mm,
All of that adds to someone's self-esteem, lack of self-esteem. For me, it caused body dysmorphia. It made me think I was bigger than I was. I was uncomfortable. I hated the skin I was in. Um, I was bulimic for about 20 years off and on, dealt with all of that. Got sick of auditioning for a little while, or after a little while, gave myself some time. That's when I went to culinary school. Um, Went to French Culinary Institute in New York and became a pastry chef. So I've been doing that since 2001. In between, and I've worked in restaurants and hotels and bakeries and done all of that. In between there, got married, had children, realized you can't quite live the restaurant life with kids. It's very difficult. It's
hmm
late nights, early mornings. So in between, I would get real jobs. The last position I was in, I was working for a township and 9 to 5, so I could be home with the kids. I always baked on the side. Nutrition and all of that. In all of this time over the years, I have beaten the eating disorder. I'm over that. I've become healthier. And health and nutrition always was important to me. I was always the one in my family who ate well and who would be making the healthier foods as they're all eating, hot dogs and burgers and stuff like that. I was a vegetarian for a while. I was back and forth, but then you kind of figure out what works for you. Um, Fast forward a little bit, I ended up with breast cancer in 2021 and had a double mastectomy, went through all the treatments and everything. In the middle of that, middle of my treatments, I ended up being fired from my position, the job that I had. I couldn't get back to work when I was supposed to because I needed another surgery. The thing with breast cancer is they never tell you that reconstruction is not a one and done. Like I ended up having 4 reconstructive surgeries within, I think, 17 months or something like that. Actually, it was a total of 7 surgeries in 2 years. It was crazy. So when
Can
I
I
was
say
fired,
something? Can I say
yeah.
something? Um, what I'm getting is that job, and the hell with them.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, absolutely.
it's almost like the universe was saying to you, Katie, we got to take this job thing away from you because you
Yeah,
got other things to focus on right now.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I'm
It,
feeling, and
it,
yes, it's horrible, to find out,
it was,
at
it
that
was
time.
horrible. I mean, to be made to feel like nobody, like you're going through this big thing, and like I was made to feel like I did the wrong thing by getting
It's
cancer.
like
Like I had to
she's down,
apologize to everyone for it.
kick her when she's down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and there was people there lying and saying that I was lying about having cancer. It was a mess. But and it made me feel so bad. Um, and like I said, like I did something wrong by getting cancer.
Mm.
Like it was my fault. And so lost the job, and I had been looking into this nutrition school periodically off and on for a long time. There was actually a few different people that I followed who all went to IIN, the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. Gabby Bernstein. There's a couple other people that I follow that all have gone through that school. And after looking into it, I got an email from them like 2 days after I lost my job. And the class was starting up the next week. And I'm like, you know what? Like you
hmm
said, maybe it's the universe telling me something. So I knew I had the time. I mean, I knew I had a surgery coming up where I would definitely have time. It was all online, this whole thing. So I was like, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to bet on myself and I'm going to do this. And that's what I did. And I went through the
Wow.
course. And actually, it ended up being, I went through the course twice because right at the end, right before my graduation date, they changed the curriculum and updated everything. And I'm like, well, I want all the new information. I want this new curriculum. So I did it again. So now here I am a couple years later, and I have the health coaching business. I'm still a pastry chef. I still do that on the side. Um, and since then, I've become my mother's caregiver. So I'm her full-time caregiver as well. So that's it. It works out that I'm able to work from home and do all of this while I'm caring for my mom, because it was my dad before he passed that kind of pushed me to do this. My father, he actually wanted me to go back to nursing school because I became his medical advocate, and I'd be the one reading all the charts and looking into everything and knowing what was going on. And I'm like, Dad, I'm too old to go back to nursing school. There's no way. I was like 47 at the time. So there was no way I was doing that. But I this aligned with me so well because it allows me to just really talk to people, figure out what's going on, and just help people. And that's what I love to do.
Your passion is off the scale.
Thank you.
It really is. Like, and it's practical, you know, and it's
Yeah.
every time you say pastry chef, inside I'm oh, that's funny because you're not starving people. You're
No,
meeting them where they are and then showing them where they should be or
yeah,
could be.
definitely.
The word integrative, okay,
Okay.
that's part of your certification, right?
Yes,
Is
yes.
that when we say that, well, you know, instead of me trying to verbalize it, what does that mean?
It's really just a way, like I think I said it before, it's a way of looking at everything going on in someone's life. You integrate every aspect of their lives into their nutrition. It's not just a one-stop thing. You're not, it's more holistic, I guess, in a way.
Hmm.
Um, which I love that there's kind of become a turnaround in the medical field where more people are willing to look at alternatives and different ways to get healthy. Um, it's not like I don't consider it to be like a woo-woo, like, there's some things that are out there and people don't quite get it. Integrative to me is just looking at every aspect of your life and trying to figure out what is the best way to maximize your health, to be as healthy as you can be, to have as less stress as you can, to not live in a constant fight or flight state, which so many of us do. So many of us literally we live on no sleep, caffeine, we're barely eating, or we're picking up stuff and eating crap. We're not exercising. And again, I am not going to tell somebody to go run 5 miles or go lift weights. Like exercise, every single thing is so personalized for you. What's It's not kind of healthy. What's good for me is not going to be good for you. So by saying it's integrative, it tries to bring in pretty much every little thing that's going to work for you for your life, and looking at everything, not just that one piece, which is your diet and the food that you consume,
You
because
said
we
that.
consume
You said that
everything.
word. You said that word.
I did, and I love that. It is not, I hate diets. I hate the word diets because when you're on a diet, there's always an end to that diet. And what
Mm,
happens when most people go off of a diet?
yep.
They usually spiral backwards. And
Even
if
those
people
with the
lose,
GLP-1s and taking the injection and
exactly,
all of that, that's all good. However,
exactly.
what's going to happen after that? You need
Yeah.
to know
I mean,
how to eat.
yeah, or you have to stay on that forever. And it's really it's retraining someone's way of thinking to understand their triggers, understand the signals in, like, you want to go to sleep, but beforehand something's telling you you want to have that wrap. But it seems like you kind of know it now, like you understand it. And so you're going to make that choice to have the wrap or the snack before bed or not have it. It's making choices. It's I will never tell you there's a such thing as like a cheat day or you've cheated on a meal. No, if your body's telling you you want something, then okay, have it. Don't eat like don't eat a whole cake, but if you want a piece of cake, have a little piece of cake or a bite of cake or something like that. It's intuitive. It's listening, it's starting to listen to
Mm,
your own body's what your body's telling you, you know.
you know what? Let for a moment. Let's go there. That's a great point. Ask, you'll get the answer. That's
Yeah,
in my journey.
definitely.
And the whole thing with me eating at 10 o'clock at night. That's because I got in tune with me and went a little bit deeper.
Okay.
And another thing just popped in my head with that rap at 10 o'clock at night. Um, there's a small piece of it in my mind that's saying, you deserve it. Who
Yeah,
cares? Just have it.
definitely.
There's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, got goals, want to lose a few pounds, all
Okay.
of that. That's not
Yeah.
supporting that. And I know it. And I have friends that
Hmm.
have a commitment. They don't eat after 7 p.m. at night. And they
Hmm.
started losing weight, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
It's not working. It's not really
It's
working for
not
me.
rocket science, really, as far as health and nutrition. It's really not.
Mm,
Unfortunately, there are so many things out there. Like, don't get me started on the food industry and what they put in foods. I mean, literally, foods are addictive, and the food industry knows it.
yeah, oh, yeah.
They know that things that they're putting in these snack foods, or they know that the sugar or the food dyes or whatever, they know that it honestly is addictive.
Yep.
Like cheese is addictive. Certain foods are addictive, and you have enough of it, your body's going to start craving it, just like it does a drug. And there are like, look, like I said, don't get me started on the food industry and what they do and what they allow here versus what they don't allow in the foods in Europe and in other countries.
Oh
Like
my gosh, I heard that
it's
recently.
insane. Like that's a whole show in and of itself.
French fries in the US, I believe it's like 17 ingredients. When you go to the
Yeah,
UK, I believe it's like three or
like
four.
three or four. Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
why? Why?
Exactly.
It's
If you look at the
crazy.
ingredients of like M&Ms or a Kraft mac and cheese and things like that here versus other countries, what they allow here, like the dyes, the red dyes and the blue dyes that are so that they're toxic.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, it all goes back to Washington. It's the food lobbyists, and it's
Yep.
unfortunately people make money on us being unhealthy. And
And
so
keep us unhealthy because guess what? What was that? Big pharma, ching, ching, ching.
yeah,
Lots
I
of money there, and keep
mean,
them
exactly.
unhealthy.
I don't want to
Um,
get in trouble and get canceled on my first show. So
oh, it's all good. I'll throw it to me. I'll take it.
okay,
It's
okay.
don't even get me started. Um, the stress thing, we could do a whole podcast on that.
Oh
But
yeah.
I've had challenges with that almost to the point where about a year and a half ago, I almost went to the hospital because of it.
Oh, I believe
It
it.
wasn't the first time. The time
Mm-mm.
before that was like 2016. All mitigate,
Yeah.
all good now. All
Yeah.
why? Because I got in touch with me. I
Yeah.
started, listening and just I'm sure you did, especially with your journey,
Yeah.
along the way, just because you needed to, you
I was the
needed.
same way. 2016. I ended up in the hospital in septic shock. And I actually I was technically dead on the table for a couple of minutes. Um, I had been so run down, so exhausted at work. I was burning the candle at both ends. I was
Mm,
at the very tail end of a very bad divorce. So it was the epitome of fight or flight. And I could not control, I was just, I couldn't control anything. Everything in my life was just spiraling. And I was working in a restaurant, I don't know how many hours a week. And I got sick and I thought it was a stomach bug, but I ended up with strep in my blood.
oh,
And it got into my kidneys, it got into my liver. I literally, and I became septic. Like I said, I was in septic shock and I almost died. And that was the first time I really kind of reevaluated everything and looked at my
mm,
life and said, what are you doing? Like I had babies. My kids were like, they weren't even, my daughter wasn't even 10 yet. It was insane. And that is when I left the restaurant world and I took the job at the town that I eventually lost. Because it was regular hours. It was I could leave work behind. I could still do cakes on the side, but I mean, I was at this restaurant. I was working at home. I would bring stuff. I would bake at home, bring it to the restaurant. Like if I didn't get it finished, it was insane.
wow.
So, like you said, you're put in positions where you have to reevaluate, and sometimes it's what you do in the aftermath of those situations that make a difference.
Yep.
You can make the choice to keep doing the same things and go down like a really bad path, or you can make the choice to look at your life, examine what's not working, and then start to bring in some of the better things into your life, and then sort of you slowly crowd out the bad stuff. But
It's
it's
like a
not the
filter.
easiest thing in the world to do. Yeah, it's not the
Yeah.
easiest thing in the world to do.
And you can't walk that journey alone. Um,
No.
I didn't, in realizing everything that we're talking about. I talked to people like you doing podcasts. Herbal medicine was a game
Yeah.
changer in those, situations. We're out of time. How do we
Are you
find you?
serious? Oh
Totally.
my gosh.
How do we connect with you? Somebody who just even has questions about maybe changing their life, changing their lifestyle, changing what they eat.
Yeah.
How do they find you?
My website is www.mykindofhealthy.com. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook. Right now, if you look on there, you'll probably see more cakes than you will see health coaching at the moment, because I've been making a lot of cakes recently, so there's a lot of pictures on there. But I am the pastry chef health coach on Instagram, and Facebook. It's Katie Cakes dash My Kind of Healthy. So I'm all over the place.
That's so cool. Again, I'm chuckling inside. I just the fact that you're a health coach, a nutrition coach, but also bake pastries. And
Oh, it's a total contradiction.
yeah, but it's I love it because it's real.
Yeah.
It's you can get healthy, but also live at the same time.
You can have your cake and eat it too, and I'll make the cake.
You can have Katie's cake and eat it too.
There you go.
thank you for today. Really
you.
appreciate it. Looking forward next time we get together.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.